Hello YouTube. So I thought I should just change from guys to YouTube because you're like a YouTube family for me. So what's up? And let's go quickly and talk about, and let's do quickly a video today. So what are we talking about today, guys? So I want to talk about Guruji. I want to talk about the daddy, the pioneer of bodybuilding. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. And this book, I don't know if you have it, guys, or not. It's called the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. Has about close to more than 800 odd pages. Plus it cost about 800-900 rupees on Amazon. This is something, you got to have it. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you should have it. You should read it. This is the book that, it'll give you some perspective, a little old school perspective, but hey, things never change. Your training style may differ from one place to another, but hey, guess what? Some things will never change. I think it sounds like an ad, back in the days. Again, old school. Anyways, so what are we talking about? We're talking about 5 things, or rather a couple of things that I imbibed from Arnold, that I kind of learned from Arnold, which kind of had an impact on me, which changed me, and my training perspective, which changed my game, completely. And this is something that I wanted to share with you guys also, which could come in handy to you. So 5 things that changed me and that I learned from Arnold. What are those things? Number 1, it's all about the pump. I don't know if you've seen his movie Pumping Iron. Oh, there's a word pump there as well. You got to see it. It was made in, I think, 1976 or 77. He was preparing for Mr. Olympia, which he happened to win. And he's talking about how important the pump is, when blood flowing into your muscles. He's actually compared pump with actually having sex, or rather better than sex. He says that he can have pump anywhere. It's all about that pump. So guys, this actually makes sense, because if you go to the gym and if you don't have that desired pump is nothing but when your body is responding to that particular exercise that you're working, and there's a lactic acid buildup. This is exactly we're all working for, guys. And if you don't get that desired pump, just imagine that you're working a bicep curl, but you're feeling the pump on your tricep, or you're feeling it on your elbows, or you're feeling it elsewhere. It's because your mind is not there yet, or you're not just getting the right pump. So that's why I always tell you guys, it's always about the pump. Go with an intent to the gym that you got to have the pump there. And how are you going to get that pump? Remember, if you go back to my previous video, I've talked about it. You got to load carbs before your high lifting session. You got to have carbs. Carbs will help you, give you that pump. So that's now lesson number 1. It's all about the pump. Number 2, it's an extension to pump, which is a mind to muscle connection. Same point, that if you're working on your bicep curl but you're getting no pump, it's probably also could be because there's no mind to muscle connection. You're thinking something else. Hey, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to talk to my girlfriend, I have to talk to my boyfriend, I have to do this, I have to do that. No, guys, when you're in the gym, you got to be there, not just physically, mentally, any muscle group that you work for, guys. You got to ensure that you're connecting your mind to that particular muscle. That is the only way you're going to grow. And that is exactly what Arnold goes on talking about, that that this is exactly what he does. Whenever he's training, he shuts everything else off, and he was giving an example that even if his father was sick, or calling him for help, and if he's training, he would actually go after his training session, which is a little extreme. Don't do that. But my point is that you got to be there, not just physically but mentally, to focus. Just get your mind together and focus on that particular muscle group that you're working. Number 3 that I learned something from is that you got to visualize the muscle, or you got to visualize the way you want to look like. If you don't visualize, and if you don't have a picture how you're going to look like, you will not be able to achieve that goal. And if you go back to his movie, or if you go back to his articles, what he has written and what he's talked about, he's clearly said that before his preparation for Mr. Olympia or any other big competition, he always had his picture that how he would look like in that particular competition. So that's a great learning for all of us, guys, that if you want to look like an X model, or if you want to look like an Y person, you have to visualize that body. If you don't visualize, if you can't visualize, I don't think you can. They say, right, the mind conceives, the body achieves. It's something like that. You got to do that, man. You got to have your mind visualize the body you want. That is the only way we'll be able to crack it. And it applies to me, it applies to everybody. Number 4, my personal favorite, and which I keep telling you folks, which is picked up from Arnold only, is called lifting heavy. He has talked about the only way to grow muscle is to lift heavy. Your hypertrophy will only happen if you lift heavy weights, guys. Go back to his encyclopedias, go back to his articles, books. You would only find one thing. there may be certain exercises which people don't do these days, for whatever reasons, but whatever exercise you'll see Arnold doing, in that movie or in his book, all lifting heavy. You got to lift heavy. That's the only way. Progression training, you got to lift heavy to grow, guys. You can't be lifting light and expect your body to do miracles. You got to, I repeat again, you got to lift heavy. Number 5, something which is may or may not apply to you, because but again it can help you, which is posing. Now, a lot of people thought that posing is only for bodybuilders, but Arnold has gone a step ahead in sharing with people that posing helped him. So when it came to lifting heavy in his gym, because posing actually helps you contract muscle. Just imagine if you're doing your most muscular pose, or any posing that for that matter, not just it helps you prepare for your competition, because it's all about that presentation, but also it kind of loosens your body, so that when you go to the gym for your session, your muscle has already loosened up and it helps you lift. That's what Arnold claims. I do try posing, helps once in a while, but I don't know if it has had any. It is because of posing that has helped me, or because of XYZ reasons, but you may want to try it out. That's what he claims, and when he says something, I'm sure there is some credibility to it. So this is something, I'm a believer of what Arnold used to preach, man, and I think there's a great learning from this guy. Whatever he has done back in the days, in 60s and 70s, remember guys, there was no GH, there was no supplements available. The only thing he took, which he claimed was some steroids that he experimented with, I think D-Bol and Testa. That's all these guys did, and they didn't even know what PCT was. So it's funny, man, how things worked back then, and and they were more aesthetic. So whatever we could learn from these guys is obviously going to come in handy to you, and it came handy to me, so that I've acquired a lot of knowledge from this guy. I acquired a lot of things that I thought I should share with you folks, which may help you too. So I hope this video comes in handy to you. I hope you imbibe these 5 things that I talked about, which is pump. Go to the gym with the intent of having a great pump. Number 2, mind to muscle connection. Whichever muscle group you're working, ensure that your mind is connected to that muscle. Number 3, visualize how you want to look like. If you have no vision, or vision is what you would call it. If you have no vision, you probably don't know where you're going. So you got to visualize how you want to look like. Number 4, you got to lift heavy. Don't be a sissy or a fancy lifting shit, lighter weights and doing 40-50 repetitions. No, 8 to 12 repetitions and lifting heavy. And number 5, posing, guys. Try posing. If it may work, it may not work, but hey, there is no harm. It'll only help you contract your muscles better. So any one of you who have any questions around this, feel free to reach out to me either on my YouTube, Facebook, or even on my Instagram, and I'll be very happy to help you how you can imbibe these 5 things into your training plan. So until we meet again, peace.